Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Quarantine Doodle Club. Today we will be learning how to draw a cartoon seagull. Let's get right into it. Alright, so to start our seagull, I'm going to make his forehead first. That's going to just be sort of a rounded off shape like that. You don't want it to be completely flat. He'll be facing towards the left here. Then for his beak, I'm going to make basically the same shape. This one's going to be a little bit flatter. And then a quick turn down like that for the end of his beak. Next I'm going to come down and across like this, and then kick it out for the back end of his beak. I'm going to make his beak come back a little bit further than you would expect for a seagull to make this guy a little more cartoonish. Then I'm going to, come pretty straight across here, and then hook it up into the back of his beak. And then I'm going to come down right about here and bring it back pretty close to that top beak until it's back into his head here. So see how now I'm underneath his forehead, so now it's into his head. Then I can bring it down, bring it up sharply, and we're going to meet up with the top part of the beak. Now this line that I have in the middle, I'm going to go ahead and bring it back, keeping it towards the middle, all the way into that back end there. And then I'll add a little bit of shading here, like that. And I'll make a little nostril right here. Then I'm going to give him an eyeball, and I'm going to make my seagull not entirely impressed with what's going on. He's like, why is there nobody here on South Beach? I'm used to getting more food than this. Now, if you wanted to make an eagle, this is basically how you would start an eagle too. An eagle's beak shape is slightly different, and the top of the head would be a little bit rounder. But overall, this is a pretty good start for an eagle as well if you're more into eagles. Just so you're aware, the basics are all still the same. Next I'm going to make his neck, and I'm going to come down. Now it's not a straight line down. You could make a fairly straight line down, but I'm going to give this seagull a big puffed out chest, like this. I've always kind of thought of seagulls as like old sea captains that retired and just sit around on the beach now instead of going out to sea anymore. They're always looking out at the ocean, reliving their glory days maybe. Alright, so then I'm going to bring a line up. This part is going to be his wing, but then I'm also going to, from whatever this lowest point is right here, I'm also going to make a slightly curving down line. So this is almost a very smushed rainbow shape. I like to give easy shapes that everybody knows. And then I'm going to hook this back up. This part here is going to be his tail. And this part here will eventually be his wing. So now I'm going to make a very straight line down for the back of his neck. I want it to go to about there, maybe slightly longer. Then from right here I'm going to make his shoulder of his wing, like that. Again, a very smushed rainbow. And then we're going to kind of make a sledding hill. So this is going to swing down like this. It's a long ramp here. And then we're going to come up like that to make a jump at the end of our sledding hill. So there's our wing. Then for the front of his wing, I'm going to make a line like this. Then if you're shading or coloring this later on, this is all going to be gray. I don't suggest lightly scribbling it like that. I'm just demonstrating what will be gray later on. Also, this part here would be a light gray. Depending on the seagull, sometimes the top of their head is gray, like the neck and the head. Alright, next he's going to want some legs. Seagulls, you can always tell what direction the wind is blowing if you see a bunch of seagulls together, because whatever direction the majority of them are facing in, they're facing into the wind, and that way their feathers don't get ruffled. Fun little fact for you. So we're going to give him 2 legs coming down like this. And then they've got some webbed toes. So first I'm going to make the 3 points of the toes where I want them. And then these are just smushed rainbow shapes connecting them. And that's going to connect like that. And his other foot, maybe we can only see 2 of the toes on his other foot because the third one would be back behind there and you can't see it. If you'd like to, you could give him like a couple feathers sticking out here, like a couple ruffled feathers that got pushed the wrong direction. You can also have a couple loose feathers out here in the wings. And maybe 1 or 2 down here. I have spent years as a camp counselor. I'm going to put mine on a pylon sitting out in the water. I spent years as a camp counselor, and all of our beach trips, there would always be at least one kid that, even though they were warned not to have food sitting out where the seagulls could come get it, they would not take that warning, leave their food out, a seagull would come steal it, and they'd be yelling about how dumb the seagull was and how dare the seagull. And I would always say, hold on a second. That animal is pretty smart because it seized an opportunity. But your intelligence might have been lacking in that moment because you even got a warning and you didn't heed the advice. So you can't really fault a clever seagull. I think seagulls are actually very clever, smart creatures. They see an opportunity and they take it. And we have to be smart enough to outthink them. Alright, so there's our seagull. If you want to put the water in the background, go for it. Alright, so there is our cartoon seagull sitting on a pylon. I hope you enjoyed following along, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow for another episode of the Quarantine Doodle Club. Thanks for watching.